Good evening, everyone. Sorry, a little bit sardonics there. Anyway, welcome back to another video. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Isis, and I do art stuffs. If you like what you see, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe. And if you are subscribed but are not seeing my videos more frequently or don't know when I post, hit the little bell and you guys will get notified when I upload. I'm sorry this is kind of late. I meant to have this up earlier in the afternoon, but my program here decided to be a little funky with me and decided it didn't want to really upload my pieces here. So it took me a minute to finally get around to. I had to restart my computer and then I just uploaded these guys one by one. So it took a lot less time than the previous attempt, which I let my computer go overnight and it still wasn't finished. So let's talk about the piece. This was a piece that I did for my mom's birthday. I may make this a print in the future and do some hand embellishment, but this is my sort of backwards mixed media piece. A lot of times when artists do art that involves digital media, they do things by hand first, and then they do the rest online or fix things, and then, continue it traditionally. Mine's, I wanted the symmetry, so I opted to do this digitally first to sort of not cry later. And I think this is the first time I've actually, not the first time, but this is one of the few times that I show the actual sketching process. She was actually a lot of fun. I did her in my last sketchbook, so if you see my sketchbook tour, you'll see her more towards the end. Oh, sorry, I'm also drawing while I do this voiceover because I need to keep my hands busy sometimes. But she was towards the end of the sketchbook, and I was trying to debate the seriousness of her face because I didn't want her to be mean. But I wanted her to sort of have that sort of smug look on her face. I think that sometimes depicts Aries pretty well, which my mom is. And sometimes she does get this kind of look, especially when she knows something or, is up to something. She can be a little tricky sometimes, but I love my mama. I don't draw rams that frequently. I do have a character who actually has horns, but her horns have never gone in this direction, so it was sort of interesting. I did look up reference for some ram horns, English, just to get a basic idea of how they go. I didn't want to make it super detailed and hyper realistic. This is bordering on semi-realism as is, which is, nothing terrible. I really, really like the overall look of it. The digital part was actually a little more tedious than you would think, despite the fact that I was doing a copy pasta of, some of the things like the ears, the eyes, the horns. Those were the most necessary to sort of do a copy pasta of, just to get an idea for where things would sit and to get them as correct as possible. I for some reason, it took me way longer than I thought it should have. And then when I did this part, because I was like, oh, I'll just, do the curls here, and I don't know why I was struggling with this so much. It shouldn't have been a struggle. It should be the least struggle because she has short hair, and yet and still it took me so long. But the end effect of the basic piece, I really, really enjoy. And even if it took me longer than I thought it should have, I didn't mind that as much. I appreciated the piece for what it was. I actually like the way it looks on black and white paper, or the white background. But I think in the video I did take the time to sort of guess what it would look like, because I didn't print this on white paper. I actually printed this on brown paper. because if you saw my art haul, I got some Coordinations cardstock, and I got the Chocolate Lovers pack, which has some brown paper in it, and I was choosing between this and like the craft paper. And you'll see when I get to the traditional part where I was sort of kind of deciding where I wanted to go paper-wise. I did 2 prints. I still have the other one. If anyone is interested, I will hand embellish it for you and send it to you. I haven't gotten my store up and running yet, but I'm planning to do that soon. It's just taking me a minute because I have some other obligations that I'm trying to get out of the way. I have a large art piece that I need to do for a showcase that my friend wanted me to sort of enter. So, yeah, I'm trying to take care of that. Plus, I have to do a tattoo commission, so to speak, for my brother-in-law. He wants me to do a Celtic cross. I don't know why a Celtic cross, but man. Oh, here I was thinking I should add more to the background. I was going to paint gold, a gold design of some kind around it, and I ultimately decided against it. Mostly because I couldn't figure out what I wanted, and I didn't want to add anything too tedious like a mandala or anything like that. I also forgot to record the Photoshop portion of this, or I just added a couple of things that I wanted in the background, or not in the background, on the piece itself, that I couldn't necessarily hand draw and get in a way that I liked specifically. So yes, there is the brown. Those are the tools I used. You can't see it in the video, but when I printed this, the hair was actually not completely black, which was surprising. When I looked closer, I could see the lines I was making with my Hi-tec there, and I was like, oh, so that means I should detail this hair further than it really needed. On camera, it doesn't look that way, but I spent a good minute detailing that hair, and it was actually kind of relaxing, but it also allowed me to think about the hair itself, because it is technically curly, and though it can't be picked up on camera, when I was looking at it from the distance, I was like, oh, I can see. So I didn't have to just scribble hair and sort of fake the funk with the curls. I could really sort of make deliberate lines where the curls were, and how they separated from one another, but not do like individual tiny curls. I think if I tried to do that, I would cry. Also, if you notice to the left there, I have 2 phones. One of those phones acts as my timer when I do the traditional stuff, because my camera can only go 15 minutes before I have to hit the record button again. Also, if you hear any whirring in the background, that is my fridge. It's kind of loud. I don't remember it being this loud, but suddenly decided it to be really loud. With like in the last month or so. So yeah, sorry if you can hear that. But yeah, I just kept going with the hair until I was satisfied with the way it looked, and then I went in with browns. Now, the reason I used browns is I figured it would look nicer shading wise on the paper than a gray. I didn't want to take away from the piece itself by using gray. I didn't think it would react nicely. I also used a camel color from my Mitsubishi. What are these guys called again? The Mitsubishi Art Erase colors. I used the camel color as my highlight along with white. I didn't want to leave it straight up white because of the nature of the paper. I thought it looked kind of icky. The one thing, though, is I wish there was some way to sort of blur it out a little more. Also, I had a lot of trouble opening that package. It took me a good 2 minutes to get it open. But yeah, I wish I could have blurred out that camel and that white a little bit more. But it's harder to do on a paper like this than, say, a straight up white paper, you know. And I wasn't using a paint for it. It was color pencil. And color pencil can be kind of icky some days. I I also wish I was a little less heavy-handed with that gold on the face. Not that it looks bad from where I'm standing, and initially it didn't look bad at all once I was finished, but when I first started, I was looking at it, I'm like, oh, that's kind of really, really harsh. I should really tone that back a little bit. The paints I'm using are the Kuratake Gansai Tanbi Starry Colors palette. This is quite comparable to the Hi-tec Gold palette, which I wanted to get, but this was less expensive than that one. The Hi-tec Golds are now like $30 on jet pens. I was just like, yeah, no, I'm not going to spend $30 on that. Not this time around. I may in the future, but maybe not for me. Maybe for my mama, because that's what she wants. Hopefully she won't be seeing this video anytime soon, because this was actually my sort of backup piece, because I had actually ordered presents for my mom, but they're not here yet still. They're supposed to be here this week, hopefully, but oh man, I was just like, oh, I want to have something in hand to actually give her, because I would have felt bad otherwise, even though she really enjoyed her birthday, because a lot of people, the family came over, you know. It was an enjoyable time, but I really felt bad I didn't have something in hand to give her, because I almost always have something from my mom for her birthday, especially since I have a job. Also, can I say that this gold is quite delicious, and I can't wait to use it on more pieces. Like, it looks so nice, and I just love the shine. It's just opaque and lovely. I was a little bit tentative around the hair because I didn't want to get the hair sort of tangled up in the gold paint there. But I did go back later and just say F it, because I didn't want it to interfere with my flyaways. But I did go back over it with the Hi-tec. See, it does work over the gold paint once it dries. These colors are really, really nice. And I tried to use, I think I used the entirety of the palette in some form or fashion. I didn't add jewelry, but if you saw earlier that I was painting something on her chest, it's actually a butterfly. My mom thinks of me and my brothers as butterflies. Well, I think of myself as more of the moth of the family and less of the butterfly. Moths can be pretty too. So I have a moth on her chest and one on her, I guess it would be her right shoulder. Shut up, phone. Oh my gosh. And then I sort of hand drew a moth on the other side, because when I did the Photoshop, which wasn't a whole lot, I actually don't have a moth stamp, so I sort of tried to hand draw one. I almost fudged it up here, but I drew a lunar moth, and that's what I used the sort of silvery white gold on. I actually like how it came out, so not too shabby for somebody who's only drawn moths a handful of times. And one of those I've drawn several moths on. So yeah, it came out pretty good. But I tried to use different golds for the two butterflies and the silvery sort of tone for the moth, obviously because moths are associated with nighttime and butterflies are mostly daytime entities. Entities? Is that the word I'm looking for? I think it works. And I used gold in the eyes. You can't really see her eyes because they're sort of mostly closed, because you know how it is when you're smug, you sort of just, you know, no one's smug with their eyes open, especially with that kind of smirk there. But yeah. Oh, I used my brush pen. I've been having some difficulties with my brush pen, but it was being nice this evening, or that particular evening. But yeah, we're coming to a close on the video. I will do more videos like this if you guys really like them. If you really like this or have any questions, please leave comments in the description or in the comment section below. You will be getting a video this Friday. Not sure what yet. Maybe another art and chat. We'll see. But until then, guys, keep on drawing and stay creative. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.